Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Let's go kill stuff. Probably Nilfgaardians.
What the devil is going on? Where are our reinforcements? Why does Willem not ride out to face the foe, relieve besieged towns?
I can't say, Your Grace. We haven't had a single scroll from the Prince.
Gods be damned. I've the impression I'm alone in fighting the Blackclads.
Well...
Beware, my lady. Keep a keen watch. Heard the thunder of hooves from the high road. Cries ferocious in a foreign tongue. Your Majesty, what of Prince Willem? Where is he? Why's he not come to relieve us? We'd had omens, oddities that foretold this. Blood in the milk, stillborn foals, trees withered of a sudden, and I lost me tooth in a sweet bun. Beware, my lady. Keep a keen watch. Heard the thunder of hooves.
I mean, if YouTube keeps going the way it's going, we will definitely be doing ruminations without webcam, so that's something to look forward to. I was doing some webcam tests earlier to accommodate the potential new monitor. No, it's more like we might be leaving YouTube entirely, in which case we'll be doing audio ruminations, not video ruminations. That's all. That's been the backup plan for some time now. I don't know if it's that bad yet, but that is the backup plan.
Meave's retinue was riding through a narrow gully when a shrill cry cut the air.
And van den order!
The gully came alive, and soldiers in black armor rushed forth. A cry in turn went up and down Meave's ranks. Ambush!
Nothing more than usual, no. Hello, Zion.
Defensive formation!
Must be an important lesson in this. But what?
No, the Romans.
Can't take it anymore.
101, 102, 103.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am. Trouver les gloires! I'm a war soldier.
Yes, Valvatrix. So it's like Gwent, but better in every way, basically.
Lyria!
Hey, Jon Snow.
Brach! Scheiß! In! Zwei!
I mean, the thing I hated most about Gwent as the standalone release was that there wasn't really any single-player content. It was all multiplayer PvP stuff, which I just have absolutely no interest in. Damn.
Off to the front yet again.
Left, right, left, right.
Quiet! Or the Commissar will hear. You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Brach! Scheiß! In! Zwei!
I don't get any ad revenue from YouTube. I haven't in years. I don't make a dime off of YouTube. I wanted the option von Falkenstein. I like having options.
What? Who dares?
One bolt I need. Give me a target.
My prescription.
The short answer, Alex, is no. There's no way in hell.
I want them taken alive! I need answers!
After the skirmish, the Queen's troops brought several Nilfgaardian prisoners before her. Reynard, who had the best command of their mongrel tongue, interrogated. His first question? How many battalions were marching on Dravograd?
Kes, Zagdran, Ep, Dravograd, Ven.
The prisoners whispered feverishly, then one spoke on their behalf. They would answer no questions until the Queen pledged to free them in return. The Lyrian soldiers saw this as arrogance and said as much.
Conditions they're giving us now? Sons of whores! I say, we find a tree with a strong bough, several...
What would you guys do? Promise to free them?
Or hang them horribly and murder their herd of corpses and then probably kick a puppy.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I love kicking puppies. Just, you know, show up and it's like, hey, there's a puppy. Then the puppy comes back, pulls out a gun. We have a, you know, a gun duel. But yeah, no, I was already going to do this.
Ignoring the objections of her retinue, Meve pledged what the soldiers wished. They, in turn, admitted their commander had pushed forward ahead of the army's core force. He now awaited reinforcements that would let him take Dravograd. The prisoners claimed these units would march through the village of Turnifen.
To lay there in ambush. Hold them. They could not join forces.
Reynard whispered, leaning in towards the Queen.
We would gain the advantage for the decisive battle.
Meve had obtained invaluable information, while the prisoners would gain their freedom. Or so it seemed at the time.
Dun, dun, dun. And now... I want every single one of these prisoners executed. Just one slice across the neck should do it. What do you guys think? No? Okay, we won't do it. No, I'll free them.
I would ask you to pledge to not reveal our position to your commanders,
said the Queen.
Yet so eager were you to share your army's secrets with me that your word is of no value. Leave my sight.
Once the Queen's words had been translated, the prisoners breathed a sigh of relief. Freed, they ran as fast as they could towards a wood, glancing back to make certain there was no pursuit. But Meve kept her promise.
Oh, our position is super tenuous. Yes, Geralt is in this game. He's on the cover. Which is funny. It's like, quick, we need to sell this game. What do we do? Put Geralt on the cover. Okay, okay. Where are we at? Just double checking. Yep, okay.
Blackclads trampled my son, your majesty. They saw him walking along the road. They didn't slow, not one bit.
Yes, Denerex.
Take it anymore.
Whenever the run's done, Denerex. That's how I usually do it. Anytime a run is finished, that's when it goes live on YouTube. Cyberpunk's gonna have Gwent! Actually, that would be pretty funny, wouldn't it? They've just think I learned this card game from this strange young woman who was passing through earlier. I don't want to deal with this.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Sorry, I'm mathing in my head. No, this is a normal fight, not a puzzle fight. Yeah, I know, Tigzar, which actually kind of irritated me, honestly. I don't get why the devs are being, to be perfectly blunt, dicks about it. Like, you guys laid the groundwork there. What's the issue? I just thought it would be kind of cool. But no. Yeah, rights issues are probably the issue. Yet another reason to hate Uncle Vernon.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
He's the author of the Witcher series, Alex. And an asshole. Why we call him that.
One bullet's all I need.
Well, no, that's not going to do it, is it? No, it should. We'll use it next turn. Lovecraft, Mr. Red.
Give me a target.
Oh, I'm sorry. I read good person, bad content. Or, I mean, bad person, good content. I even said it wrong. Good person making bad content. Me. There you go. There's your example. Well, it's either that or I do the other webcam thing. But yeah, it is something I've considered for about 6 or 7 years, Uthor. Give or take. I mean, I could do a test run. I mean, I have done test runs. Like, when I'm really sick, I'll just do this. And there you go. Boom. Nice and simple.
Can't take it anymore.
So what you're saying is, by logical discourse, since you agree with something, I have to, by law, disagree with it, Uthor.
Should have listened to me old lady.
Civ 6 is apparently on sale right now for half off, if anybody cares. That's on Steam, apparently. Oh, that'd probably be it, Valvedrix. Yeah, Borderlands 3 comes out tomorrow. I will not be picking it up. It's not on the list, and my friends don't really have any interest in it. And neither do I.
Left, right, left, right.
Let's go and play this, of course.
Again and again and again. Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Yeah, I will agree with the Borderlands, but well, okay, no. I won't say Borderlands is only fun with friends, but the Borderlands games I've played were way funner when I played them with friends. So make of that what you will.
this harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
So the fact that my friends have no interest is kind of, you know, it's like, well... That is true, Dakota. But I have to admit, I'm not into looting, and shooting isn't really my bag. And so the only real reason I kept with the Borderlands series is the story. Which I know sounds strange, but there it is. Like Borderlands 2? Good damn story. Tales from the Borderlands? Amazing story. Prequel, or pre-sequel, or what the hell they call it, decent story. You know, some good stuff there. Borderlands 1, technically had a story. Screw it.
Arbalista, your command.
I was kind of wondering what you were trying to say, Blackwell.
I'm a one, sir.
Yeah, that's all I got, so here's hoping. And we managed it. Yay! The roads are perilous, more blackclads than mosquitoes out here these days. Getting to Dravograd is bloody impossible. For now, I've hidden the goodies in a secret box on the side of the inn opposite the temple. Gross. How do we get lumber off? You know what? I don't want to know. We good. Oh, that looks like fun.
Neve and company passed by a village evidently pillaged by the Nilfgaardians. From afar, they had heard cries, but as they drew near, they recognized them not as cries of grief, but as cursing, cries of anger.
Give him a proper walloping, the scoundrel!
Mercy, good folk! I've done nothing wrong!
The villagers stood gathered near the hamlet's center, surrounding an elf, bloodied and cowering. Stones in hand, the peasants threatened and cursed him. The queen demanded an explanation. A ruddy-faced blacksmith stepped forth and spit.
A Nilfgaardian spy the horse and is, your majesty. He's the one brought him here to raise the village. He's got to hang.
The other villagers agreed with the smith. The elf fell at the queen's feet and groveled.
Have mercy, Renner. Save your loyal subject. They lie. They fault me only as I am an elf.
That's interesting, Dakota. I mean, it probably says something that 3 of the 5 Borderlands games revolve around Jack in some way or another. Hey, Papaneeks. Congrats. We haven't been brave enough to try LFR yet. Oh, I'm sorry. Where is it? I forgot the webcam was still off. My bad. Still sitting here gesturing and everything. Yes, Nero says. I petition the elemental spirits, or whatever the hell there is in this setting. I talked to Ragnaros, and I'm like, Rag, buddy, what do you got for me? And Ragnaros, who's currently being played by an adorable shark, says, well, you see... And then I wait for a moment. You're such a good shark. Hi. At least they fixed it so you need to have the cloak to queue for it. Because holy crap. so he is an Nilfgaardian spy. That's interesting. What's funny is that was actually my knee-jerk reaction, too. If for literally no other reason than the fact that he seems so innocent, and of course he's an elf. But let's be honest with ourselves, the elves have plenty of reason to work with the Nilfgaardians. Remember? That was a thing? We actually talked about that during the pseudo-lore run. Good shark. Her name is Nom. And she's adorable. So, bye!
Neve was torn, could not decide who spoke the truth. She thus resolved not to meddle at all. Coming to the elf's defense could only rile the resentful crowd.
That's not why I did that.
Later, as the villagers placed a noose around his neck, the elf cursed the queen's indifference to his fate.
Devils take you, Thronebreaker! Devils take you! Your line! Your whole damned land!
Neve gave the signal to depart. As her force marched off, all heard the elf's cries of grief and pleas for mercy. Then they stopped mid-sentence, and the silence rang in Neve's and her soldiers' ears.
I sure hope not Nero's ass. Poor elves.
One traitorous head less than we had afore.
Oh, that's Kuel. Nero's ass. Nah, it's just the wind. Yes, he was a traitor. Although we had spoilery knowledge for that, but again, I was already leaning towards that. Admittedly, that's more meta-narrative knowledge than, in-universe knowledge. I have to admit, I've already been feeling a bit of that, Denrix. I don't know if it deserves a full negative, since it would depend on... Well, okay. You know what? No, that does deserve a full negative. But in conjunction with something else. So we're going to give a negative to gameplay. Because this is the worst game ever made in the history of video gaming. Am I doing this right? No, I'm supposed to bring up politics and whatever my current agenda is, which I guess would be sharks are adorable. So sharks are adorable, politics, and what else do reviewers nowadays do? Help me out. I guess they would plug whatever their thing is. Look, the point is, I do actually have a negative to give here. But you're going to have to give me a second to really talk this out. Because normally a game like this would actually get a positive for this exact thing. And that would be for effectively replay value and branching paths, right? Because I like that. When I have access to save slots, and multiple slaves, which I don't. I get one save. And, I can't do anything about that. I get my one save slot, which is something I tend to be against in general when it comes to game design. For a lot of different reasons. This isn't quite the Pokemon situation, but at the same time it kind of is, isn't it? Like, if I wanted to restart, I would be starting over from scratch. Like, I either load my save or I start over. In fact, if you guys are remembering this, this came up during Detroit Become Human, which had a similar problem. So, yeah. I'll have to ponder the other one, but the single save slot thing is 100% a negative. I mean, I get that they don't want me to save scum, but as we've talked about a few thousand times every time this comes up, there really is just no excuse for this when it comes to game design, in my opinion. There are simply too many possible scenarios where having one save slot, which auto-saves, is a bad thing. So, moving on. I agree with it being a choice. That would fix the problem immediately, as we've talked about many times. If there's a, there's actually a term for that. It's not hardcore mode. It's, Iron Man. If there was just an Iron Man mode option, right? Just toggle that at the beginning, bam, now you have to live with it. Shazam. And at that point, if you have any bugs or issues or consequences, then that's kind of on you because you picked Iron Man mode, right? I mean, yeah, they literally have an option to skip the combat of the game, for God's sakes. Why don't they have an option to turn off Iron Man mode? Well, I mean, that's what I prefer to do as well, Dakota, as I've shown during XCOM. If some of you guys may or may not remember this, but when we were playing through one of the XCOMs, I think it was 2, we ran into a game-breaking bug, a hard lock bug. And if I had had Iron Man mode on the toggle, we would have been done. That would have been the end of that run. Because I did not, and I was doing a self-enforced Iron Man mode, I could actually reload an earlier save and adjust the things I needed to adjust in order to fix the bug. You remember that? I mean, proof positive right there of the kind of thing I'm talking about. Yes, have some money. As Queen, I have been negligent in my duty, so I will pay him for lost services and cause. Let's look around here.
Meave's force made its way to the place the prisoners had indicated, a quaint village named Turnifen. And indeed, soon a cloud of dust appeared on the horizon. A large enemy force approached.
We await your order, Your Grace.
Reynard peered at Meave expectantly.
Attack? What are we freaking waiting for? I guess we can attack them from behind? This feels like a don't attack them option, which is not what I want. This would be another excellent example of a time where it would be nice to save, to test that, to see if that is what it looks like, or if that's just inconsistent. But we're just going to attack because I'm not sure and we can't save, so...
Meave could not let this opportunity pass. The Nilfgaardians marched on, oblivious to the threat. As soon as they found themselves within range, she signaled her arbalists to loose their bolts, then led her cavalry in a charge.
At them! Follow me! Gee up!
Special rules. Capture 3 caravans. Okay. I've noticed we have puzzles and then we have pseudo-puzzles. Yeah, unclear gameplay or dialogue options is definitely the kind of thing that'll be a negative when we get to some BioWare games later on for reviewing. Sure, we're good.
At them! Valyria!
Honestly, I'm assuming the prince is either corrupt, you know, he's being bribed, or he's corrupt and he's just terrified of actually fighting the Nilfgaardians. Take a pick. does hit all of them. I was wondering. Ah, I've been defeated. I was just testing the mechanic to see if it worked the way I thought it did. So since it does, we're going to get rid of that. And that, and that. And that. And that. And that.
At them! Valyria!
Arbalist to your command.
152, 154.
Armor wars.
Scrubbing duty again? Oh, gods.
Sorry, dude. I did this in the wrong order. Whatever. I'm enjoying it so far, Darkstar. By the way, Huthor, if you want to suggest any positives, you're more than welcome to. Anybody is, really. But I just mentioned you because you mentioned it specifically.
New orders? No? Ah.
Nilfgaard, apparently. I gave the art style a plus. I'm debating giving the battlefields a separate plus. I haven't decided yet.
That was not in the spell books.
If you insist.
One bolt.
Her Majesty is exceptional.
Wait, so what if they make it a PC game instead of a PlayStation game, Alex? Super easy, Darkstar. For reasons that should be fairly self-evident.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
My prescription, a bit of bloodletting.
Left, right, left, right.
El Herzer.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Splendid! One last push now! Not a blackclad to remain within sight of Dravigrad!
Thus Meve led her force to victory. Historians would later term this encounter the Battle of Turnifen. Those Nilfgaardians who survived it spoke of a terror on the field. A woman warrior in gilded armor spattered with blood, her blows so powerful as to pierce the heaviest breastplate, the thickest buckler. The Lyrians now set off toward Dravigrad, buoyed by the vision of their foe expecting reinforcements, friendly banners on the horizon, none of which would ever arrive.
The Blackclads may outnumber us, but we're the more cunning, with the wit! That's how you kill Blackclads, with swarms of bolts from the thicket and pitfalls neath their feet. Ha! Sure, their armor's black, but their blood flows red! Well, only one life to live. I'll march with you, don your colours. We'll chase them Blackclads back across the Yaruga.
Okay. I mean, sure, I wasn't asking you to join me, dude, but sure, whatever. I'll not turn away help. I mean, that's a fun tactic that's been used. No, I hate the game. According to Alex. Actually, what do you want to bet? I'll get some people saying, God, why does he hate this game so much? What do you want to bet? Well, they need to make sure everyone knows who they are. It's the British approach. I don't know what to call it.
Remember this, Nilfgaardians. You'll not defeat the gods. They fear not your torches. They fear not your swords.
Sure. I mean, I didn't like Banjo-Kazooie. Probably narrows us. But if I'm going to be damned, I'd rather be damned for who I really am. If you'll forgive me for borrowing the quote. Well, the Nilfgaardians have had their one chance, so that's not working out well for them.
A dark shadow suddenly cut across the sky. The Queen instinctively brought her shield up, convinced a Nilfgaardian catapult had lobbed a boulder their way. When the boulder landed in the road ahead, it smashed into splinters and proved an empty barrel.
This is what they cast at us. Barrels. Is this some jest?
Well, they're not known for their sense of humor, the Nilfgaardians,
answered Reynard. Meve stood in her stirrups, squinted, peered into the distance, and let out a hearty chortle. For the barrel had been loosed by neither catapult nor trebuchet, but by a rock troll consumed by fury. At what? A company of Nilfgaardian soldiers had pitched camp by the cave the troll called home.
Not, the the smartest move on the Nilfgaardians' part, but, you know, it's not like they're known for their intellect, am I right? Yeah, let's go help the troll.
Troll or non-troll?
Said the queen, drawing her sword.
None deserve to die at Nilfgaard's hands. Follow me!
What's Arcane working on now, Solar Cat? Or do you know?
Larum! Assayer Tuvin Avian!
Wise choice.
Protect the troll!
Deathloop, I remember that from E3. That's a messed up ability. So, in case you're not reading that, for every 2 turns on the turn start, if the sum of both adjacent units' power is even, damage all units on the opposite row by 1. Then move to the other row. If odd, damage all units on this row by 1, including self, and then move to the other row. Can we just kill the troll? I mean, starting to think that might be the better idea here.
This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Order!
I mean, it fits Darkstar. That's why I was just like, okay, well, we'll make this work. We always do.
Give me a target.
Life is mine now.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
It's safe! Your Grace, the troll, it's a bit unpredictable.
Tail cats out!
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Yeah, no kidding, Alex. I could see decks built like the Shoop decks, right? Like that would be a thing. Hello, Night Forager. Honestly, just getting rid of that guy is
Arbalist to your command.
something I can't do. Okie dokie day. Well, there you go, Darkstar. Okay. What did Shoop do to deserve to be nerfed? Huh? Nothing.
Left, right, left, right.
Used to be, I hunted game. Men bring more coin.
Poor elves. It's kind of... I'm just picturing people shoving elves into shoops, and shoops like the furnace here.
Jericania, source of the best goods.
Damn. That's not what I wanted.
Again and again and again.
How you doing, Ryder? I may be about to lose this.
Company, forward march!
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Time I taught you some respect.
Armor won't say.
I've done that a few times, Uthor. Alright, all I need to do is cook... Oh.
That will do.
Okay. We win.
Humans good do. Soup help.
Student food, also known as rice or noodles with salt and pepper on top of them.
The Lyrians smashed the Nilfgaardian force. The troll, having grown suddenly pensive, gazed and picked at the invaders' corpses.
Clad in blacks, humans. No good humans.
Just so, Sir Troll. The Nilfgaardians are a devious lot. Our land they've attacked most treacherously.
Clad in blacks, humans hard. Why no good humans? Big lot armor. You got to. Try morsel of human, you wish?
Do you know to whom you speak? This is Her Majesty, your queen.
Greeting your queen. Soup is me.
There, Reynard. I believe I can manage this. Say, Shoop, you've quite the stockpile of kegs. Do you engage in custom, perhaps?
No. Kegs good for smash when Shoop angry gets. But costume engaging. That what mean?
It means... well, to trade one thing for another. At a profit.
One thing for other. For glitter rocks, even.
Yes, if you play your cards right, you might just convince someone to pay you in rocks.
Cards, kegs, trade, glitter rocks. Soup plan got. Soup gotta go. Afore human go, Soup human give. Your queen aid give, your queen aid get.
Elf and onion soup.
The troll turned on his heel and ran out of his cave, his destination known only to himself. As she moved to leave, a hunch told Meve the world would yet hear of this troll named Shoop.
No, I got it, Darkstar, because you buy the kegs and that's the booster packs in Gwent. What's this thing do? Creates a bronze card. Spawn one of 3 randomly chosen cards from a specified faction and from neutral cards. Garnished each serving with grated cheese, add eyeballs to taste, serve hot. That's probably a good card. I refuse to use it. On principle. Now let me move faster on the map, damn it. Believe it or not, I have never eaten eyes. I know, crazy talk. I've eaten eggs, not eyes. I think the weirdest thing I've ever eaten was souls, and I mean, those are pretty clean if you think about it. There's not a lot of guck involved.
Armed men in me life, and each one in black plate and winged elm. Heard them Nilfgaardians got hearts of stone, no mercy for a single soul.
No, that's this other dude. He's got like red hair and really big chest and tattoos.
Reinforcements from the capital, milady. Where are they? Why've we no protection? Reinforcements from the capital, milady. Where
I run away from my responsibilities like a true queen.
Look at the palisades. The machines of war. Too many to count.
I cannot fathom it. Has Nilfgaard sent all its forces into Lyria?
No.
No, your grace. But a single army.
Gods protect us.
The queen uttered a juicy curse. Drevagrad stood before them, Nilfgaardians all round it, 3, perhaps 4 battalions of armored infantry, arbalists and cavalry behind them. Trebuchet volleys had punched holes in the walls, while battering rams had twisted the main gate open. But elsewise, the city was mere moments from falling to the foe.
Doomed! We stand not a chance. Nilfgaard outnumbers us twofold. More!
Then our men must put double the spirit into the fight. Double the heart. Lyria!
Emboldened by their valiant queen and commander, the Lyrians charged headlong at Nilfgaard's lines into a hail of bolts and arrows.
I mean, honestly, in this situation, assassinating the enemy commander is probably our best overall shot. So.
Attack! Rid this city of all black-clad filth!
Your grace, I see the commander. We must train our efforts on him.
Yeah, we probably cannot win otherwise. Well, considering this story has multiple outcomes, Harriant, I'm guessing it's not canon. Although, what is canon at this point is kind of debatable, isn't it? Because we got book canon, show canon, game canon. I don't want to deal with this. It's front load.
Can't take it anymore.
Alba!
Well, yeah, but Witcher 3 kind of, ended the series, so it doesn't matter that that one has multiple endings. And Witcher 2's multiple outcomes only affect little things. Same with 1. much as I hate to do this now, this really is the correct time to do this. Oh god, I've had jellied eels. Ugh. I've also tried cow's tongue. And this is what I have to say about that.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Hail cats out! I'm a wrong set.
See you around, Taquata.
Quiet! Or the commissar will hear.
Trouver ni gloire!
He's making a joke, Uthor. Look up Rocky Mountain oysters.
What? Who dares?
One bullet's all I need. Give me a target.
They retreat! Your Majesty, the city's ours!
The Nilfgaardians fled in panic, abandoning war machines, shields, and arms, even their wounded. The defenders rejoiced. They laughed boisterously, and cries of delight and chanting could be heard all around. "Warrior Queen!" they shouted. "Meve! Meve! Meve!"
Hear that, your grace.
I do. No sound rings more lovely to a ruler's ear. Yet rest on our laurels we cannot. Caldwell, the situation in the town, what can you tell me?
Wall breached. Thrice. 400 wounded, near 1,000 without roofs over their heads. All nothing compared to the grain stores. Went up in smoke during the siege. And it's some time yet afore the harvest. Your Grace. The war's just begun, I know. All coin should bolster the army, yet if we leave the folk of Dravograd no gold, there will be hunger. With all the attendant discord.
Oh god, I don't have the money to help them. Oh Jesus. So this would be an excellent time to, you know, reload a previous save, to use the earlier example. So, yeah, they just get to go starving because I don't have the option to feed them. So that's neat.
You saw the state of the garrison here. Its men fought barefoot, no foot wrappings even. Is my meaning clear? I must have a strong army to command. Lacking that, other towns will fall, more grain stores will burn, and famine will visit not Dravigrad alone, but all Lyria. Caldwell, the gold I need very much.
As you command, Your Grace?
The battle we've won, there's just the war that remains. And Nilfgaard will strike again, doubt it not. We must move on. Caldwell, ride ahead to Lyria. My son must call a gathering of the Council of Peers. Tell him so. We'll have much to discuss. Reynard and I will follow with the troops. We shall seek out any Nilfgaardian stragglers, prevent them from rejoining the main force.
This, I'm gonna go ahead and admit, this irritates me a little bit. Because the only thing I've really spent my money on is the frickin' movement speed upgrade, because the movement speed is so goddamn slow. So I beelined for all the upgrades necessary in order to increase my movement speed on the overworld map by 15%. And now people will go hungry because I wanted to move quicker on the overworld map.
Meave's two adjutants bowed and left the Queen to think.
It's a good question. That's a legitimately good question, Arrows Eyes. Let's find out. Let's see where it's saved. Because you can do that with Dark Souls, which I only know because of speedrunning, because speedrunners abuse the hell out of the autosave in Dark Souls. But they know how to do it. So let's find out what happens. I'm pumping this up, by the way, if you're wondering what the hell I'm doing. It's probably going to take a while.
Hey, come on. Get them shackles off him. Poor sod can't eat proper.
Dunno. I'm not sure I like that. What if he runs for it? He's worth a heap of coin.
Ah, bollocks. Been holding him a week, hasn't tried a thing. Why he up and bolt now? Matter of fact, got to thinking. What did a sweet, gentle chap like him do to get the Queen of Zericania so riled?
She's a shrew, that's what. Queen and witch in one. Worst of both worlds.
Enough about her. What do you say to one more of your tales? While we toss down some cards.
Ah, why not? And since you mentioned one queen...
But I've got it. He's the narrator. Did I guess right? I guessed right. Continue. Hey, it's before. Sweet. Okay, let's go get some more gold. No!
The machines of war.
Hang on. Okay, so let's Alt F4 again. You remember that negative I've already given this game? Just saying.
Hey, come on.
So I've hit load. Oh, right. Okay, so apparently it does have multiple save slots, even though it's still the enforced Iron Man mode. So I will rephrase that negative. I have no idea, Darkstar. Like, I feel like I did everything on the map. Just everything I saw. Kaivrul Vilem, indeed. Anybody know where another event I can do is that might give me... Oh, hello. I'm trying to save gold. Fine, whatever. So now I have less gold than before. That's neat. Yeah, I'm trying not to do that, get dunked. Especially since it seems to be a limited range kind of a thing. I have gotten many treasures near Ozaz. All the treasures. All the treasures. Can I sell resources?
Yes, Your Grace?
Die in a fire.
It's time I attended to other matters.
Can I sell a card? I'm sorry, Golvag. I do apologize. My, at this point, very ex-girlfriend, this would have been back in 2004, used to complain when I would wake her up in the morning, because I would wake her up by immediately putting her to bed with my voice. No joke. Well, we can try it, Fibriz. Feels inflated. Spend 50 more gold. Hey, there are things in the Nilfgaard area and past it. I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound at this point, right? Okay. I am seeing things in the distance. Let's go try that out real quick. Or just fall. That's cool. I'll get it through later. Okay. A lot of stuff past that battle. Looks like there's a couple things before the battle. Just need to make 800 gold off of like 2 resource spots. We could totally do that. So far I prefer it here, TKG Wildfire. But that's mostly because of the, the matches, which have more interest and variety to them, rather than just, here's another thing where you fight somebody. As I mentioned earlier, I tend to enjoy manually crafted specific missions, rather than just standard missions. Just as a general preference thing. That being said, I do miss my spy deck. Okay, that was a tight... That didn't even pay for the one of the scout trips. Yeah, that would be a lot faster. Let's just do that. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure those people are going to go hungry. And that's going to suck. I can't wait to leave my own people starving. It'll be wonderful. There'll be a party. With a guillotine. Check the house. Ah, there's the key. It was a locked door, Nero says. Well, I'm at half of what I need.
Sure you can bind a rabid dog. Tie his 4 legs together.
Not really, Darkstar, no. Using the money saved the game. I think. Pretty sure it saves, like, constantly in it. Like, right there, for instance. I'm pretty sure I'm just straight up screwed. Just looking around for anything I might have missed in the intro area here. I mean, I haven't even looked into cheats for this game. Why would I? I figured there was no need for it. Silly me. There's always a need for cheats. No, TKG, I haven't had time, unfortunately. Yeah, no, we're just gonna do this manually. I'll put the cheat flag up to not have those people starve. Cheats, yes, did not want people to starve. Let's see. There we go. Do I really have to do this? Okay, fine. So... There. Okay. We have now cheated. Okay, so let's go do that battle again. And going forward, I will not waste money on random cards just because I'm trying to make a more efficient group.
Look at them.
Like, a lot of that money was literally wasted just because I was trying to optimize my deck. And, yeah. It was literal waste.
The Queen uttered a juicy...
Doomed! We...
Blah, blah, blah. Thank you very much, Carwelas. Very much obliged and appreciate the sub. Thank you, sir. If you happen to know where you want to put that as far as increasing priority, please let me know.
Attack! Rid this city of all black-clad filth!
Your Grace, I see the commander.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Alba!
What?
Can't take it anymore.
Hey, Gloire! Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Oh, okay, my mistake.
Hail cats out!
Brach! Scheiß! In! Zwei!
One bullet's all I need.
Off to the front yet again.
If I'm doing everything right, someday some people will actually be like, Lore Runner! But we're not there yet. We still need to get Loricon going.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Quiet, or the Commissar will hear.
In my opinion, TKG Wildfire? Or are you asking if this qualifies, in which case, no. I mean, it's good music, but best? Nah. Maybe a little higher for that.
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads.
Could do that. Let's wait on
Left, right, left.
Final Fantasy IV, original SNES version.
Brach! Scheiß! In! Zwei!
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
I mean, I guess we win, traditionally.
Give me a time.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Arbalista, your command.
Oh, there you are! That's the card I needed to win last time.
The captives didn't deceive. It was fortunate we snared those reinforcements.
But what kind of soup, laddie? You know people are going to expect donuts. If you just go to Krispy Kremes, I don't know. So I'm going to lose because I didn't realize this was a multi-round match. So donut soup is actually a real thing. Soup donuts just sounds gross, though. Ugh, no thank you.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Alba!
I mean... I usually don't cheat, Tony. Statistically speaking, if you look at my reviews, and there's a reason I put the cheat flag up, I usually don't cheat. Especially for a review. The only reason I cheated here is because I can't reload a save, for which I've already given the game a negative. As I like to say, if I feel the need to cheat in a game, I generally consider that to be a negative. Generally. And it is, in this case, and I've already given the negative, so whatever. I am curious how this particular enjoyment is being reduced by me adding the 1,000 gold, though. Like, what is being changed about your viewing experience here? In this particular case.
Can't take it anymore.
No, it's like Iron Man mode, but he's really upset, Velvetrix. Reason to do that though, but I have to because it's the only way to get the combo off. Let's do this for now.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf I am.
See what happens.
Off to the front yet again.
Of course, he's sending out his super buffs. That's gonna be.
Her Majesty is exceptional.
I like how he always hesitates before he says that.
I'm a one, sir.
Oh my god. In case you missed that, so I destroyed a unit that its on death effect is it destroys all other cards of that in the entire deck. And it happened to be that his entire hand was that card, so so that's game. I mean, you know, while we're here.
Some respect.
They retreat! Your Majesty, the city's ours!
Yes, we win. So we won by killing him, the commander, and we won by actually defeating the enemy army. So you've now seen both victory options.
The Nilfgaardians fled in panic, abandoning war machines, shields, and arms, even their wounded.
Hear that, your grace.
I do.
Blah, blah,
Yep.
blah,
Wall
blah,
break.
blah, 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 blah. Okay, have the money.
The drought of 1258 I remember all too well. I saw famine, what it drives folk to do, the extremes. A strong army I need desperately, yet not at all costs. The townsfolk need gold to survive till the harvest. Count how much, then give it to the garrison commander.
As you command, your grace.
The battle we've won, there's just the war that remains. And Nilfgaard will strike again, doubt it not. We must move on. Caldwell, ride ahead to Lyria. My son must call a gathering of the Council of Peers. Tell him so. We'll have much to discuss. Reynard and I will follow with the troops. We shall seek out any Nilfgaardian stragglers, prevent them from rejoining the main force.
Yeah, I returned the gold to the temple.
Meave's two adjutants bowed and left the queen to think. She was hungry, sore from the fight, spent. Yet sensing her soldiers' eyes upon her, she set off for the stable, her gait brisk, her head held high.
So let's see that card we just grabbed.
Huh?
Force 2 units to duel. Is that Dijkstra? Oh, whatever. Oh my gosh, the enemy is marching towards Dravogod, but further attacks are expected. They've also been attacking Edirne, Novigrad, Rogreven, Blaviken, and of course Redania. So what you're saying, Kay, is you absolutely hate the lore run. I understand completely. God, she doesn't even feel faster. Like, I know it's only a 15% boost, but this does not seem faster at all. Yeah, let's go loot. Actually, let's go grab this. Then let's go loot.
Golden armor!
I can't go into my own city.
Nilfgaardian boot. Thought 'twas certain as snow comes with winter. Kings and emperors fight. Leave the common folk to tidy up. Never damn changes. Ever the same. Your Majesty, you saved us, and not a moment too soon. From death, and fate's worse than that, I'd say. We'd live neath Nilfgaardian boot. Thought 'twas certain as snow comes with winter.
Listen, this is totally Novigrad right here. You can tell by the blood and the vomit and the death. So, Chris, now we have the money that we just spent, and then some. But I'm not going to spend it. I've learned my lesson on that one. From the Duke to the Colonel. I've dispatched additional resources in our efforts to gain allies in the region. Reports suggest we are close to securing the lion's share. Do not leave the Nordlings wanting. Spare no expense. They will return everything to us before long with interest. So yeah, no, they're totally not trying to bribe our son. Right? Right? Like, if you wanted to make fun of me for constantly giving away gold or not stealing gold in order to help people out, sure, that's on me, right? But blowing, like, I think it was something like 3,000 gold to move 1 inch per second faster on the world map? I don't know, man. Oh yeah, Lore's not doing any upgrade ever again. Unless it's a movement speed upgrade, in which case that's the first thing I'm doing! If you know anything about me in terms of game, you know that I will always beeline for something that will make me move quicker. If it's teleports, or portal magic, or mounts, or, you know, Hearthstone tickets, or scrolls of town portal, or whatever. That is a universal. Must go fast. It's like I can't even really buy anything right now anyways. My lady, the villagers fear an attack. They ask that you order a group of soldiers to remain. Duh! Of course I'll protect my citizens. What do you think I am? A king?
Golden armor, golden hair, reeks blackclads like train.
This statement brought to you by the Cynics Organization for Cynics Anonymous. Remember, life sucks and then you die.
Milady, a strange boat floated past. Thought it imperial, but it flew not black sails, but red uns. Deep red.
Astrologers proclaim Week of the Badger. All Nilfgaardian dwellings increase population. The shadow of death's fallen over Illyria. Tribes of the south this way come. Price of loyalty's high, high, high. Astrologers proclaim Week of the Badger.
I'm sorry, what, TKG Welfare? I don't understand your question.
Where's Yanko? 'Twere dawn I sent him into the fields, but he's not returned. Where's Yanko? 'Twere dawn I sent him into the fields, but he's not returned.
Hey guys, have you seen Yanko? Or Wenko? Or Dot?
Horns sounded. Meve recognized them at once as those of the Lyrian vanguard. She drew her sword and prepared to face the invader. Yet coming down upon her force were not Nilfgaardians, but bearded warriors clad in leather, horned helmets on their heads. This was not so. The Queen could not believe her eyes.
Skelligan raiders? This far inland?
But this was no time to be bewildered. Meve spurred her horse. It neighed and reared, and then the twain leapt into the fray.
This is why we needed to revamp the organization of Skellige in Witcher 3. 150 health. Holy crap. I'll just grab my minigun here.
Reynard, what the devil? Sea raiders here!
Oh, that's mean. Well, let's see if I can get even the beginnings of a combo out. Nope. Okay. That's bad to know.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Let us put our steel to the test.
Can't take it anymore.
Dijkstra. Easy answer, TKG. With one notable exception, he had a brain. And it showed.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
We'll ransack your temples! Wipe ourselves on your vestments!
Why?
One vote's all I need.
Yes, I am, Miranda. Thank you for asking.
What is it?
No, I think I can manage this. It's just going to be a little tricky.
Give me a time.
I am enjoying the story so far. So let's see what it does in the case of a tie, shall we? Actually, yeah, unfortunately now I have to start playing knights because I'm losing troops.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
I know, right, Golvag?
You wanna pass, you gotta pay. Can't let you through elseways.
Left, right, left, right.
You've got stones, wench.
Yeah, thankfully, Witcher 3 basically provides the funding for GOG, Cyberpunk, and this game. So, that's neat.
Arbalista, your command.
And dead. Yeah, so in case you missed that, sorry, I should be talking more of this out loud. He had a lot of units that buffed themselves basically every turn as long as people were dying. So I was feeding people into them to get his guys buffed up, and by the midpoint there, as you can see, it got to the point that he was just killing his own people and killing himself in the process.
Fought hard, fought bravely, brought mayhem. Yet the Queen's ordered, disciplined force won the day. The islanders seemed entirely undismayed at their defeat. A trait of theirs, I must admit, I've ever admired.
Well, you're right scrappy for landlubbers. Lippy Goodman applauds you for your pluck, Queen. When we sup, me and the lads will drink your health.
I mean, we talked about this during the Witcher 3 pseudo-lore run, and every other time I've streamed Witcher 3. I'm actually kind of down with the Skellige mentality, within reason. It's the raiding part that gets a little bit too much.
That we shall yet see, sir. We must know something first. What brings you this far inland? What drove you from the sea?
Meve asked, crossing her arms.
Ha! What always drives us? Looting and pillaging. The coast's picked clean since long, so we set our longships up the Yaruga for gold and glory!
Amusing. I always assumed you to be honorable folk.
And who dares to claim elsewise?
Your very actions do so. You've attacked a land preoccupied, a land already at war with invaders, but I suppose it makes sense. You've ever feared to attack Imperials?
The Queen prodded gently.
What did you say, wench?
Gudmund had quickly turned red with rage.
I'll prove just how wrong you are, I will! Why, we'll be drinking mead from Nilfgaardian helmets for sundown! Follow me, lads!
Niamh smiled as she watched the islanders gather their gear and prepare to march. She doubted not in the least that Gudmund would honor his pledge.
Honestly, I would really love to dig into the books at CD Projekt Red sometime, with an eye towards efficiency and accounting.
The damage seems not so great.
Management.
It appears Nilfgaard's not yet turned its forces towards the capital. We're likely to encounter no more than pathfinders and foragers.
So I hope.
I guarantee you with absolute certainty that Cyberpunk will sell extremely well at launch. But I don't know if it'll attain the same levels that Witcher 3 did. As you yourself just pointed out, Witcher 3 got a boost by the show, but you have to remember Witcher 3 actually got several boosts. It kind of had the same thing going for it that Shovel Knight did. There's the initial sales, and then, for whatever reason, it sold really well again, and again, and again. So, a mage named Cornelius the White decided to be a dick. I mean, I've pre-ordered Cyberpunk on GOG, of course. How?
One bolt I need.
I am admittedly hesitant on Cyberpunk, but, I mean, we're already committed. Come September, we're playing that game. The only change is whether we're playing it the day it comes out or the week after, which you guys will be deciding, of course.
I'm a one sick.
Nah, okay. I know, right, Goldberg? Okay, I know I've said this before, but I'm just going to say this publicly again. I honestly wish Cyberpunk was being delayed by another year. No joke. I would rather that.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Well, I don't care about ray tracing, and I don't really care about path tracing. So, I mean, I'm sorry. I have been of the opinion that graphics in terms of fidelity have peaked years ago. So I don't really care all that much about peaking them even more, you know? We're at the point of squeaking out millimeters after the miles we've progressed. I mean, even compare this game, which isn't exactly a huge graphics fidelity game, compared to Banjo-Kazooie, which we were playing yesterday. Huge gap. It's not that I think... Well, okay, yes, I absolutely think Cyberpunk is going to be unfinished, but more to the point, I think that forcing a large group of people to do 8 months of crunch time is... I think the simplest way I could put that is wrong. And I am not overly fond of the idea. I would rather wait a year for a game than destroy the livelihood and sanity and health of, you know, however many dozens of people. I know, call me weird. Yeah, exactly, Darkstar. Red Dead Redemption 2 certainly does look very, very, very good, and so does Detroit. And you can also go with stylized, you don't just have to go with fidelity, but that's kind of my point. We've kind of peaked. Although, as Near as S says, performance is a thing, too. It feels like the wrong choice. If CD Projekt Red is doing that bad financially, which again, I mentioned earlier, I'd love to look at the books, then we have other problems. Oh, whatever, let's play this out and see what happens. I need a 4th damager, but I don't have one. You see now, there's those guys. It's like, okay.
Discipline shall bring us victory!
No, I'd rather play a mage, Miranda. I don't get these guys.
One man's battlefield is another man's ripe patch for harvest.
Oh. I didn't realize those guys had that death wish. Duh. Okay. So I will be 1 damage shy of actually pulling this off.
Oh, I'm ashamed to let this empty waste.
And I'm done. Hey, Demiurger.
Give me a target.
Can't take it anymore. Oh, I'm ashamed to let this empty go waste.
I only loot corpses, but sometimes they're quite fresh.
That's not up to me, TKG. That's up to my patrons. They're the ones who decide what I ruminate on. I haven't decided a rumination I do in, like, 6 years at this point.
Arbalist at your command.
Yeah!
Her Majesty knows what she's doing.
Why was I turned off? No, no, no. God damn it.
Like a wolf, I am.
Hang on.
One bullet's all I need.
Hey, Larian.
Got any victuals? Hungry
The
like
same as always, Jon Snow. For... looks like 1 hour and 44 minutes.
Give me a time.
We must trust each other.
Could use this.
That was what I did wrong. I didn't play him earlier. Oh my god, did I seriously misplace him? I misplaced him, didn't I? Oh my god! Let's do the whole battle again. I was admittedly looking at chat when I placed him, so obviously I shouldn't do that in the future. Hi, the Joker is coming. Welcome to my stream. You're like the third person this week to tell me that you found me because of my KOTOR stuff. Shoutouts, don't be a stranger. I do like chatting and talking, interacting, even when it makes me fail at the mission I'm doing. What was the order? God, I had this whole order. It was all great. It was like that, and then...
Give me a time.
Oak. And then enter... No, no, no. Nope, hang on. Well, it doesn't matter, whatever. Kill them all. Then they spawn into a new one. There we go. Then we spawn with these guys.
but you won't.
And then... we need to kill one of these guys.
Ballista,
Get him out. We enter, and then they throw this dude out so we can get his usages back. We end turn. Then we only need to kill one guy. So we kill one guy, which spawns the boss. And we put him to the correct position.
I only use corpses. Sometimes they're quite fresh.
I admit most people don't actually think of release dates the way I do. But I think most people will agree that way too early announcements is just a thing that should stop, you know? What am I doing? I'm stabbing away. Transform a damaged unit into a bear, which is a 22 strength nothing. Well, that's horrifying. What's the other thing we just got? Ah, there it is. Heal all allies and boost them by 2. I think I'll bring the bear thing in. You guys like being bears, right? Why can't it be saved? Oh, I need one more card. I don't have any other cards. Well, let me ask you this, Lord Harmont. Let's say that I announce that I'm making a video game. You're excited. You're amazed. Then let's say in 6 years the game comes out. Now, what do you think's the problem with that? Now, if you say nothing, then never mind. Yeah, Alcor. Yeah, but I can't add more trinkets. I'm capped on trinkets. There, we'll add a crushing trap that I will never use, just so it saves the deck. No, never mind. We're good, Lord Harmont. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Like, that's a long discussion. Nope, no upgrades. We're not spending any money now. We're never spending money again. Ever. I have learned my lesson. Spend no money. I suppose I've got some dead time, so I guess I can try to start explaining it. Right after this cutscene.
The Nilfgaardian invasion necessitated certain steps. Meve had dispatched scrolls to her garrison commanders, based upon which they were to announce general musters. She'd hoped that by the time she reached Crydam, fresh recruits would be waiting to join her growing force. Alas, the commander of this fort, one Sergeant Griggs, had only bad news.
Your Majesty, I've not the numbers to man the walls even. The call to arms brings few new recruits and more men desert each day. Folk are terrified something awful. They don't believe in victory.
I'll pay you.
Since love of country seems insufficient motivation,
Meve said, standing up from behind the table.
We must make coins speak. Sergeant, announce that all new recruits will receive twice the usual soldier's pay.
Though costly, Meve's decision brought immediate results. Lured by the promise of gold, townsfolk in droves enlisted with the garrison. The Queen left Crydam poorer, but encouraged, as she had a stronger force in tow.
Nothing stirs a soldier's soul quite like coin. The clinkety-clink of gold. Nothing stirs a soldier's soul quite like coin. Clinkety-clink of gold.
So, Lord Harmont, let's see the first and most obvious answer. Most people, not everyone, lose interest in a game the longer it is before it comes out. It's the same thing with anything. If they're like, hey, this such and such is coming out. No, it's totally coming out. Trust us, it's going to come out. After a while, interest just kind of goes away. Now, that's a problem for two reasons. Number one is most obvious. The people who were interested aren't anymore. Problem number two is the fact that they're going to have much worse sales because of the fact that far fewer people are going to actually be willing to pick up the game, especially up front. This leads us to the third problem here, which is the fact that consumer trust in general in a product tends to go down the longer it takes in perceived development cycle. Now, perceived development cycle and real development cycle aren't the same things. I'll give you a direct example of that. People think the development cycle of Final Fantasy 15 was like 10 years. It was actually closer to 1.5. But because of the perceived development cycle, it hurt sales because people are like, oh my god, this game took years to be made, and it didn't. Then we've got those three problems. Then we've got the fact that there's also issues with whether or not the game will come out at all, especially after a very long period of time, or whether or not it will meet the level of quality that is expected or even demanded of what might be presumed. A good example of that would probably be Duke Nukem Forever, which is a game that did finally come out after, I think, 15 years and sucked. Let's see, what other problems are there? There's problems with maintaining budget with relative... So, okay. Your perceived value, which affects many things, including investments, as well as your stock price, is going to go down the longer it takes you to get a big name game that you have announced well in advance out. I know that sounds like a minor thing, but it is yet another reason why announcing early is generally considered a bad thing. Now, what some companies will and have done is they will announce something specifically to boost the perceived value of the company, aka stocks and investments. But the problem is if they announce that a little bit too early, then what you get is a short boost followed by a long drop, if you follow the analogy. I could probably keep going and just coming up with more and more reasons why it's a dumb thing to do. But I feel like I've made my point.
A contract on a monster. Interesting.
Well, we're not Witchers, so we're not dealing with that. Yeah, Cyberpunk, if you guys remember, was actually announced like before Witcher 3 came out. Now, it is worth noting that this does not always apply, obviously. I mean, obviously, okay, it doesn't apply to you, Lord Harriman. You've already given your opinion on that one. But it doesn't always apply with regards to market interest or sales figures or whatever. Sometimes the game just manages it. I can actually think of an example of that. StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 was in development... Well, actually, no, that's not a good example. Never mind. I take that back. Ignore me. I actually can't think of an example where it didn't apply, so never mind. I was going to say StarCraft 2 because StarCraft 2 had a ridiculously long development time, but they didn't announce it that far in advance. It just took that long to develop. So that's actually a different thing. Well, that's my personal preferred TKG. However, I understand and acknowledge that that's not for everyone. Generally speaking, 6 months-ish is probably the sweet spot, which answers Malakor's question. Because 6 months gives people who need to save money time, people who need to schedule it time, but people who don't want to wait too long time, just enough time to get excited and, you know, not have to wait too long. And it allows the buzz cycle to go through a little bit of this rather than this. Because it always picks up a bit right before the game actually comes out, but if it goes way down here before it picks up, ugh. But if it goes like this, then it kind of evens itself out, right? So 6 months seems to be a pretty good in-betweeny average. I would honestly say a year would be the outside. Yeah, sure. We now have a Demetrium bomb. Okay. Oh, I would believe that, Dream Whisperer. I don't remember Kingdom Come Deliverance's announcement at all, so I can't actually respond to that one. Restore all units to their base power. I suppose I can get one upgrade. Just the one. It's also the only one we can get right now, so boop. I swear to God, if I regret this. If you have 12... If I get to the next thing, it's like, you can save these starving orphans for 1,300 gold, I am going to stab so many people. And then cheat. Oh, I suppose I could equip another thing. Get rid of this stupid thing. What other trinket do I want? Let's do that one. Yeah, Fallout 4... Actually, Bethesda is usually pretty good with their announcements. Skyrim was announced 1 year before it came out. Remember that? 11/11/2011. There's also... Damn it, Vigilant, no. There's also Fallout 4. Fallout Shelter. You remember that? One of the only good mobile games I've played. Fallout 76, by total contrast, had a terrible announcement thing. Just absolutely piss poor.
Something's wrong at Abbott's Ravine. I heard whinnies and screams at first. How all's gone silent. Why ever do the gods punish us so? To be cast out by Nilfgaard, and now to face beasts.
Speaking of terrible announcements, they have already announced Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. In my opinion, that was a huge mistake. If you guys are paying attention, the total amount of details we know about Starfield so far is... And the total details we have about Elder Scrolls 6 are... And that's it. I mean, I'm being a little facetious. We basically know nothing. Nothing of any substance. Nothing of any worth or knowing. God, just... Yeah, I have honestly very low expectations for Elder Scrolls 6. I'm a little... I'm a little excited about Starfield, and I'll explain why in a moment. How many of you like Skyrim without mods? I was out of liquid. Sorry, guys. You will notice I am not raising my hand on that one. I expect it'll be a decent number of people. Now, I imagine quite a few people rather enjoy Skyrim without mods, and that's fine, and I'm not trying to cast shade or give any judgment here. But it is my opinion, my incredibly ignorant, stupid, worthless, and terrible opinion, that the development team at Bethesda has kind of lost their enthusiasm for Elder Scrolls. And I feel that that shows in vanilla Skyrim. Now, this is all impressions, but I get the very strong impression that several of the core development team really just want to go ahead and make something else. Something new, something exciting. I understand that feeling. How many of you guys understand that feeling? Like either creatively or with regards to your work, or maybe even back in school. You want to work on something else. You want to try something different. And yeah, you see where I'm going with this. I think Starfield is that thing. I think that they're going to actually throw themselves into Starfield. And because of... Now, this is all supposition. I didn't move the mouse. This is all supposition, but I think because of that, Starfield has a legitimately good chance to be good. Like, to be really good. So that's why I have any excitement for Starfield. Why would I give him lashings and he offers me a treasure map? Why is there evil? Whatever. No, here. Take money. Go. Enjoy money. It's harder for me to judge the Fallout situation. See, Fallout 4... Okay, I'm going to say something incredibly... target-making Death Doom. I enjoyed Fallout 4 for what it was. Most of it. There's some pretty big flaws. But Fallout 4, in my opinion, has some legitimately good quality in it. But it wasn't a Fallout game. I think that is probably its biggest flaw, is that it's not a Fallout game. It's them trying to branch into something different, and we got Fallout 4 as a result of it. I agree with Vigilant. I think the first half of the game is actually quite good. And I enjoy a lot of what they did with some of the specific characters. So, like, some of my favorite characters in the Fallout series are actually in Fallout 4. But obviously, Fallout 4 has a lot of issues. Yes, I have played Fallout 1 and 2 and 3 and New Vegas and 4. I have not played 76, and I have not played Brotherhood or Tactics. That's my thing there. But I do honestly believe that Fallout... How do I phrase this? I don't think they care about Fallout. I think that's probably the simplest way to put it. They're just using it as a test bed. Now, that sucks. But I'm not quite willing to go to the extra step of saying that they have lost interest in Fallout, because I'm not sure they ever had any. It is probably worth noting I actually enjoyed Fallout 3 as well, so if you want to flay me alive, I'm right here. I've gotten a lot of flack for that opinion. Because Fallout 3 has some issues. Oh my god, it has issues. Yeah, it's been 200 years since the bomb fell. No, it hasn't. I know that's the weirdest thing to pick up, but you know me, continuity guy, right? Like, that's one of the biggest aggravations to me, is the fact that they just decided to torpedo everything and decide to set this game 200 years later, even though it should probably have been set like 2 years after the bombs fell. Let's not get into that again. I do enjoy Fallout 3 for what it is. I enjoy the atmosphere. I think Fallout 3 actually does atmosphere better than any Fallout game. That's part of the whole should have been right after the bombs thing. I enjoy a decent amount of the gameplay. I enjoy a lot of the side quests. I enjoyed a lot of the variety in branching gameplay. A lot of the quest design that I enjoy in Oblivion is also in Fallout 3. And it's probably worth noting that Fallout 3's DLCs are all freaking amazing, with one notable exception.
As Meave and company traversed the ruddy meadows, strident voices reached their ears.
I beg your pardon. I've heard enough. A duel. I challenge you to a duel.
A duel? Nonsense. I'd sooner lay you across my lap and give your ass a thorough flailing, you scoundrel.
The Queen approached the arguing parties. Two nobles, Lords Cartwright and Mansfield. Quickly she ascertained they were up in arms over ownership of an orchard lying between their estates. Assisting both nobles, their kinsmen, armed to the teeth, prepared to leap at each other and crush heads. Upon spotting Meve, the lords lowered their voices, bowed, and presented themselves. Yet they could not keep their ire fettered long, and were soon casting aspersions again.
Your Grace, Mansfield has seized it. No, stolen my land. Land that has been in my family for generations.
It is my recompense for your reckless deeds. To burn down me mill in Furchin for a bit of sawdust in your flour? Well, I never.
A bit? Oh, let me at him. Farman's taken ill, cook's feverish, all from that manure. You are a fraud, sir. A fraud and a thief.
Though she faced the not at all trifling matter of the Nilfgaardian invasion, Meve agreed to settle the dispute. Reynard, who knew the history of every Lyrian and Rivian family 7 generations back, served as her advisor.
No doubt I would find for the Cartwrights. They are in the right here, as regards the title to the land. Yet your grace must consider, the Mansfields have ever served the crown and never delayed payment of tribute. Whereas the Cartwrights are litigious charlatans who owe the royal treasury thousands, many thousands.
Interesting. Okay, so now that they're done talking, TKG, I'm not trying to ignore you, I swear. All I'm going to say is that I have been in favor of co-op since Morrowind. The idea of playing an Elder Scrolls-style game co-op is just like candy to me. I would love to play through Oblivion, or Fallout 3, or Fallout New Vegas with, my friend. That would be amazing. MMO? No interest. I've played ESO, but I've played ESO with my friend, because we can two-man most of the game. So, what would you guys do? Because I know what I would do. First, I'd grab my sword. No, God, I would love to play that with co-op. Anyways. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So, someone asked what the one DLC is that I think is not great in Fallout 3. Mothership Zeta. Don't mistake me, Mothership Zeta does what it's trying to do extremely well, but it does so at the expense of some of the greater aspects of the lore, and that's aggravating. So, yeah. I can't call it great. I still enjoy Mothership Zeta for what it is. As I've said before, every Fallout 3 expansion is creepy in one way or another. We've got societal creepy with Philadelphia. We've got, just like gross, weird science creepy with going down south. And, we've got the, the more obvious horror elements of Mothership Zeta and so forth and so on. Broken Steel, that's the one I couldn't think of. Broken Steel... I guess Broken Steel wasn't actually that creepy, now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, I guess you could say there's some creepy elements there, but not to the extent as the other ones. Anchorage is definitely creepy. That's, Anchorage is probably the most subtle in terms of how creepy it is, because Anchorage shows you just how bad the propaganda was before. Because what we're seeing is through the lens of propaganda, and it shows. I'm gonna go with Mansfield.
The orchard must go to the vassal unburdened by debt. This is what I prefer,
said Meve.
Thus I declare it Mansfield's.
But the law clearly says...
I am the law, Cartwright.
Lord Cartwright moved to debate the matter further, but a snort from Reynard reminded him he stood before his liege. Mansfield, content, made an ample contribution to bolster Meve's force and the realm's defense.
I am the law. I mean, I'm fine with killing the Cartwrights. They owe us a lot of money, so we'll kill them, and take all their stuff. Now it's all Mansfields. Like, am I the only person who knows how to be a royal? Come on, guys.
So you see, my dear Cartwright, justice has been served.
I actually don't know who developed this game, Ventures.
So you see, my dear Cartwright, justice has been served.
It'll be fine, Jake the Crazy. It's just a bunch of people staying home. Oh, I have Zion Druid. He's actually... that's not new. It's worth noting, Zion Druid. He's said this kind of thing several times. Like, I'm sorry, but I really don't feel bad about giving more land to loyal vassals in place of people who are disloyal vassals, who owe the crown substantial debt and haven't been paying it off. Like, I don't really feel like that's tyranny at that point. That just feels like, duh. You can call me evil if you want. But the blacksmith doesn't want to talk to me. So screw him. He'll be like the blacksmith anyways. Oomph. With his rugged chin and wonderful sinuous curves. Excuse me. Oh my.
On their way to the capital, Meave and company happened one fine day upon a lone rider. Had I been at her side, I would immediately have recognized his passionate gaze and altogether chivalrous mien.
Identify yourself, sir, and your intent.
Ake of Denel I am dubbed, and my design I never conceal. The good book says the world is a garden which the gods once conferred upon man, and we men have this garden neglected. In consequence, all manner of filth has made its lair here. Drowners, ghouls, and other kobolds. I have sworn ne'er to rest until the day when, with the gods' help, I have rid the world of these beasts and pests. I wander all lands, seeking out evil and facing it in mortal combat.
Who do we spy? A knight-errant?
Just as likely a madman.
I mean, I want you to imagine someone with that sincerity and with that kind of earnestness saying, I shall do whatever I must to remove the filth of mobage gaming, of loot boxes, of AAA capitalist practices. Sorry, anyways.
How goes your hunt? Caught the trail of any monster?
Monster? Too fair a term by far. An exceptionally vile worm has made its lair in nearby caverns. It is said to be the very distillation of filth. A slithering horror. A mélange of the macabre. Its head, that of a wild cat of Ophir. Its maw full of spiked teeth. The wings of a bat it is said to have. The tail of a scorpion, and from it a thick venom drips. Learned men call this variety a manticore, or mardiacore.
Perhaps it will be most prudent, then, to send for a witcher.
A witcher? Soulless automatons they are, all, feeding on common folks' fears. What they demand gold to do, I perform without demand of any coin.
Sir Ake, far be it from me to discourage you. Your endeavor is noble, no doubt, but from what I have heard, manticores are exceedingly dangerous beasts.
To defeat this filth alone could be a difficult task, I'll not deny. Yet try it I must, for it is what I have sworn before the gods.
I mean, I'm not one to shy away from a quest.
We shall help you find and fight the manticore, Provided you then pledge to help us fight an even fiercer and filthier beast.
Of course, my lady. Yet what manner of horror is it? A viper? A griffin? A drake of some rare form?
Were it only. 'Tis a beast of 1,000 heads, covered in black armor, its fire consuming whole villages.
Noble lady. I know bestiary is only in parts, yet I've seen some of the world, and never have I heard of such a terror.
You need but look about you, and spot Nilfgaard's legions.
Devastating. But you must forgive me, your grace. This struggle between realms is not one to which I can lay a hand.
Oh. Okay. Where's my sword? Should we force them, guys? I mean, what do you think? I'm kind of ambivalent here. I must insist that you do your knightly duties, sir. Or else I will kill you. Over and over again. Each time a different terror. One time I will pour molten gold down your throat. Another I will have you eaten alive by beetles. One time I will toss you into the reactor core of an engine and then slowly power it up. I think probably the most subtly creepy setting I could think of, and this is just off the top of my head, is actually Assassin's Creed. Although that kind of stopped after, I'd say, Revelations.
A manticore. How great is its appetite? How many men does it fell? In a moon, let us say.
It changes. At a time when the horror broods, it may be as many as 20.
I see. As now you must. Nilfgaard in my capital could mean as many as 20,000 felled. You live to fight evil, injustice, do you not? You can fight none greater than by doing so at my side.
The Manticore, your grace, must fall first. As to what happens later, I shall need to consult the good book and petition the gods.
Okay, I like that animation.
Agreed, so be it. This monster, where lies its lair? Where does it prowl?
To the north, my queen. A few leagues on.
Everything about the modern story, Zion Druid. Watch Dogs kind of touched upon that too. Let's see what he does, shall we? Where is he? Where is he? Whenever an ally takes damage, he strengthens himself by 1. If battling monsters, he damages as deploying, he damages any by this unit's power. Whenever an ally takes damage, strengthens himself. If battling humans, if you have the Manticore trophy on the battlefield, whenever an ally takes damage, strengthens. Holy Warrior, if battling monsters with the wait, what? If you have Manticore trophy on the battlefield, what's the difference? Oh, sorry, if battling monsters with the Manticore trophy. Damage unit by power strengthened by 2. Manticore trophy. Whenever an enemy appears on the battlefield, damage it at random. Yeah, that needs to be in my deck. Now. Really, game? Well, whatever. He gets to not be in my deck for right now. The Division... I actually rather enjoyed The Division and The Division 2. I'm looking forward to playing through the expansion with my friends at some point. For the most part, though, the setting isn't really there for me. Like, it exists. I could definitely claim that. But The Division is a little bit too Tom Clancy for me. And you're probably thinking, what does that mean, lore? And why are you so dumb? Well, it's very simple. The Division is very Tom Clancy in the sense that there's 2 major types of people in the game, in the setting. There's extremely patriotic heroes who will do whatever they have to do to help others out. And then there are ridiculously, cartoonishly evil people. Like, laughably, stupidly evil people. So it's kind of hard to take it seriously. It's fun. I enjoyed Division 1 a bit more, but then again, I played Division 1 when it had, you know, years of patches at its back, so we'll see if 2 ever gets there. Ugh. See if I can juggle this enough. Yeah, there's no politics. I don't actually get why people think there's politics in Division. It's just about a rogue unit funded by the United States government trying to reestablish order in a post-apocalyptic society. Like, what's the problem here? A game on paper I should love, but it doesn't do it for me? Pokemon Conquest. No, I got incredibly sick, like life-threateningly sick, Dark Horse Run, and so it had to go. I have kept it down as a mark of shame, but that was the original reason for shaving. Yeah, Pokemon Conquest, it's a Pokemon 4X turn-based tactical RPG. That sounds like something I should love, but it's so boring. And it's so dull. Like, I actually just put it down out of sheer boredom. After, like, I don't know, like the 6th province or whatever. Oh. It's even set in the Sengoku Jidai, except the Pokemon version of it, which is a period of history I love and I've studied many times. So yeah, that's a good example of a game that I really should have loved, and I really didn't. Also, Mario Tennis Aces is another example of a game that I thought I was going to adore, and did not. I mean, it's pure magic science, TKG, especially the way they explain it. But I don't have any thoughts on it, really. Well, there we go. How am I gonna do this? There, that'll make it work.
I see you found the mess tent. How's the ale? Not too warm, I hope.
'Tis not for me to say, Your Majesty. My tankard holds but milk of the goat.
Milk? A witless prank. I shall tell the quartermaster at once what I think of such...
Unnecessary, Your Grace. I called for the beverage.
Is that so? Well then.
The good book states clearly, the shadow of spirits obscureth light most true, and leadeth thee from the path of virtue.
Right. I suppose there's something to it.
My soul sings to hear your affirmation, Your Grace. If ever you wish to discuss the good book and the wisdoms contained therein, hesitate not to find me.
Certainly, I shall remember that.
How so, Uthor, if you don't mind my asking? Like, I'm actually excited about the new Watch Dogs. It looked pretty good, and I'm hoping it has proper co-op, because the last one didn't.
Your crusade against monsters. Have you been at it long?
Come next Bellatane, it will be 20 years, Your Grace. Though, there was one extended interruption.
For what reason? Had you grown weary of the knight-errant's life?
Not in the least. Never shall I cease in my quest to cleanse the world of filth and abominations. But at times evil puts up rather a good fight. I ventured forth to slay a dragon once. A gold one, as it were. calling itself Villa Tretormeft, or the like. Its very name, as is evident, a vile toil for the tongue and wafting wickedness. A great many mercenaries embarked on the hunt, lured by the promise of coin in heaps. The Crinford Reavers, Yarpen Zigrin, and a band of dwarves. Even, curse the word, a witcher. One Yennefer, a most lecherous sorceress, at his side.
That name I've heard.
But at the deciding moment, when the beast challenged all, I alone emerged to face it. Alas, though shame burns me to admit it, I returned from the battle upon my shield. Figuratively. Literally, I returned in pieces. For 2 years, I lay in the Temple of Melitele in Alander. Mother Neneke, God's protector, nursing me back to full health. And only when I could once more grip my sword did I return to the path I'd chosen.
And the dragon? What was its fate?
Some claim it flew off to Zerrikania, though it very well might yet lurk here, awaiting the opportune moment to terrorize the folk of the north again.
Oh, all I can hear is the vampire voice actor. I don't mind, he's a good voice actor.
Farewell, Ake.
I should go. Well, thankfully there won't be any dragons in this game. Right? Oh, whatever. Let's do the puzzle fight. Kill it. If there are no cows left, you lose the battle. Oh, jeez. Okay. Every 2 turns, kills a cow. And he's got 18 health.
Can't take it anymore.
I hope so too, Jon Snow. Yes, ProZD's game is finally live on camera here. He's gonna eat a cow, like you do. I think I already screwed up. Well, let's play it out, see what we can do.
One bolt's all I need.
We must trust each other.
Give me a time.
Yep, nope, I'm 2 damage short.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
One bolt.
Her Majesty is exceptional.
Yeah, I had the right idea. I screwed up by putting the wrong guy out earlier. We all know Triss is the best possible. Few remedies exist for a man who has lost his youthful vigor. The recommended solution is a mixture of raw dragon egg, sprinkle of sugar, and a splash of pepper vodka. Should dragon eggs not be readily available, instead boil the liver of a cockatrice after first massaging in a blend of Zerrikanian spices. I'm no expert, but that sounds like an atrociously bad idea. I like that too, Leander. This is going to sound stupid. I never liked Yennefer until I did her romance arc, which I did at the behest of Stream, if you'll remember. Go figure.
Not a scrap.
Yeah, exactly, Leander. And honestly, if not for that romance arc, she's not very likable, especially for someone who hasn't read the books.
Not a scrap. Nothing to bury. Blood's all that's left behind.
Right. Not you guys, sorry. I'm just...
"'Tis in these ravines. The beast is near."
Well, let me just save really quick here.
At the furthest depth of the winding, gloomy canyon, scouts found the maw of a great cavern. Among the boulders outside it, whitening bones lay strewn. Ache dismounted and drew his blade.
"By the god's grace, we've found the beast's lair,"
he said, lifting his gaze to the heavens.
"We need them but to extend their favor as we battle the filth."
Meve cast a critical eye at her shield, wood clad in leather and thin plate. Enough to stop a sword, certainly, but would it protect her from a beast's raging blow? Noticing her hesitation, Reynard approached the Queen and said,
"Your Grace, none will utter a disparaging word should you step back."
But they will think them,
replied Meve.
And that's bad enough. The war has begun. I can't appear weak to my fighting men.
Without awaiting an answer, Meve strode into the cave. The rest of the company followed, equally full of fear and faith in their queen and commander. Moments later, a great and powerful roar filled the cavern.
I wouldn't have faith in me as a commander. Well, we got him at least.
"And I beheld the beast.
Oh, that's cool.
Horns didst adorn his wicked brow."
So this is our first actual boss. Wow, that is messed up.
You control.
Beware its claws! The hardest plate they shred like fine vellum!
What in the world are these lyrics? Sorry.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Beware! Its tail flows with deadly venom!
Yes, Tigsar, that's the lyrics. It's actually a Murloc opera. It's actually useless.
Armor won't save.
No, Dream Whisperer. They go into the graveyard like most other TCGs. TCG, excuse me. I can speak. Let's go ahead and do this. I should have done this earlier. You can probably already see the strategy.
Keep that vile poison to yourself!
All I need to do is get the main guy down to about 21 health, or whatever we get it up to. And we will win. Oh, yeah, that is... Yeah, so for those of you not aware, he is buffing every time my people are taking damage, even though he's not played yet. When he is deployed, he will do the damage that he has. Like, he can do direct damage of whatever his power is. So I get him big enough, he nukes the boss, we win. I will win in 2 turns.
Arbalist to your command.
And I win.
Gods blast it! My breast itches.
Let's go fight, though.
Thank the gods for this victory both great and just.
All I will say is I didn't like Geralt until the 3rd game. Make of that what you will.
With Ache at their side, the Lyrians fell the Manticore. Later, it was said, the beast's dying wail, multiplied and strengthened as it passed through the caverns, could be heard as far as Spala.
Your Grace, many monarchs have I met in my time, yet none proved as virile in battle as did your Majesty.
Virile? I dislike the term. Seems not to suit a woman. I prefer valiant. Yet grateful I am for the compliment. Now pray reveal, have you made your decision? Will you swear to serve me? Are you prepared to take an oath?
I am not, Your Grace. I can serve only the gods. Yet, I do believe them to be on your side as one unjustly and treacherously attacked. Thus I see nothing wrong in assisting you.
Then I am content and welcome you in my ranks, Sir Ake of Dunel.
The knight-errant bowed low from the waist. So low, in fact, the gambeson neath his mail creaked. Meave could only hope he would battle Nilfgaardians as boldly as he faced beasts.
Well, in addition to his character being, in my opinion, better in Witcher 3, I also think the voice actor didn't really get the voice until 3.
A whole village! Just one big grave now!
That being said, I love his character 3, and I love his voice actor in 3, so make of that what you will. So I'm gonna nuke that and give me... Where is it? Permanent resilience. Whenever an enemy appears on the battlefield, damage it at random. Sure. Ah. This will take the stone back. There we go. Yeah. Dots in card games tend to be mean. Especially in card games that aren't over in 3 to 5 turns. Okay. Oh, we missed something. Holy shkamoly. Must get something. Must save. Burning kittens. And dying orphans. With money, because that's what does it, you know. Agreed, Black Val. Unironically. By the way, Shadow Machine, I don't recall. Are you going to be there tonight for board games? Awesome. Come on. There we go. That I'm holding down and it's like, let me rush up for a minch. No, I'm going down. I was really hoping to finish this map today. Because I do have a schedule. Like, I gotta be real, if we're still playing this game when Doom comes out, this game gets to wait. Doom is higher priority.
One of them golden sons belongs on the side of my own ship. Nilfgaardians make for good prisoners, good slaves too.
That's
They got black shells, but the meat inside's red.
Hi. Yeah. Camp rules: no pissing in the fire, no crapping next to the tents, no shouting at dawn. Yeah, no, I'm sure there's like 20 maps or something, which is going to take me 20 days to get through.
Nilfgaardians make for good prisoners, good slaves too.
God, I hope so, Vigilant. I got some really inconsistent information on how long this game is. So what's actually probably going to happen is I'll probably beat this game and then we'll push back Link's Awakening in favor of Doom Eternal. Depending on how long this takes. They've started a brawl. Let's pay damages.
What's a folk moving about of late? Fair Libya is our own land. Charming, fertile and grand.
I figured Darkstar, especially since there was loot in what was obviously an Nilfgaard camp.
Is your majesty also bound for the river? To camp there, perchance?
Oh, I'm hyped for Doom. I've been deliberately avoiding information on it too, so other than the initial E3 launch, I know nothing.
Fair Livia is our own land, charming, fertile and grand.
We welcome you home, your majesty. Prince Willem awaits your return, your grace.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, do you think he's corrupt and being bought off by the Nilfgaardians, intelligent and being bought off by the Nilfgaardians, or an idiot? Or terrified? I guess that's an option too.
Good you've returned, ma'am. Lyria needs you.
Home at last, your grace.
Mm-hmm. We shall not enjoy it long, I fear. Soon we must face the black-clads in the field.
Yet a moment's peace we will have. After that drubbing you gave them at Dravigrad, they'll wish to rethink their strategy.
Yeah, you guys enjoying your argument down there? I've been watching it with, admittedly, amusement.
Neve had ridden out of Lyria in early spring, her retinue modest, as none larger was needed for the brief summit of sovereigns. She returned now to her capital, at the head of an army that dragged behind it bandits and Nilfgaardian prisoners in chains. The whole city came out to greet her. Its traders, craftsfolk, priests. Also, her eldest son and heir, Prince Willem. A boy who, it seemed, might never be prepared to rule. Neve and Willem rode side by side past the cheering throngs, their faces frozen in regal smiles. It was not until they reached the castle stables that they found a corner in which to speak freely, candidly.
Welcome home, Mother. Content I am to see you, to be sure.
And I'm happy to see you. Though I dare say I'd have been much happier to witness you leading an army towards Dravigrad. Willem, I trusted you. Left the realm in your care.
Indeed. And I, in turn, did my utmost to choose the best course for...
Willem, don't be so damned courtly. There's no one else here. My son. Nilfgaard has invaded our home. We're at war. When rulers don't strive and don't choose, when rulers grab their swords and shields and ride out to defend their subjects.
You didn't let me finish.
Well, that's because you suck. I'm sorry. What I mean is, you seriously suck. Like, you suck so badly. God, why are you here? I'm pretty sure that if you actually died, the dirt would reject you as fertilizer. Or, sorry, what I meant to say is,
All right. Say what you wanted to, please.
I feared I'd be hasty, Mother, and I didn't want to be. When we got word of the invasion, the lords convened at the castle. They demanded I hear them out. They wanted to give me counsel. If I'd rushed into the field to confront the foe, I'd have been half blind to the situation, not known all the options I had at my disposal.
A ruler never knows all the options. Yet he must decide and act nonetheless. I need to prepare. I'll see you at the Council of Peers.
And indeed she did, when the peers convened in the throne room.
That's our son, Dream
Surrounded by
Whisperer.
animal hides and Zerrikanian tapestries, the lords stood in tense silence, awaiting the queen. When her figure filled the doorway, they fawningly prostrated themselves.
We've myriad matters to resolve, so I trust you're well rested. Whatever the case, I've no doubt we shall meet the dawn afore we're done. Firstly, we must ask assistance. Pen a letter to King Demavend. Scribe, take this down. Dear... What? Uncle? Cousin? Blast. Again. I, Meve, by the god's grace, sovereign of Rivia and...
Your Grace. Mother. The peers and I, we've come to propose another solution.
Yes, out with it.
We wish to acknowledge Nilfgaard's authority, pledge fealty to the Emperor.
I beg your pardon.
The black-clad hordes outnumber our forces manyfold, and they're far better equipped. We stand not the slightest chance against them in open...
You will not lecture me about Nilfgaard's army, my son. All you know of them you garnered from coloured renderings, whereas I faced them at Dravograd. I faced them and crushed them.
But your grace, the losses. For this fleeting victory in which you delight, how many of your subjects had to perish? Bend a knee afore the Emperor, and you shall spare thousands.
Nay, never! Understood, Caldwell? Not ever!
I like her armor, by the way.
I'd hoped to persuade you, but it seems I've failed. Nonetheless, the die's been cast. We've signed the accord with Nilfgaard. Our noble lords stand with me.
The blood left Maeve's face. She had realized her son, who had ever professed to detest politics and shirked his duties as crown prince, had just stabbed her in the back, as had her entire court.
What is this? Treason to my eyes! The gallows is what awaits you!
Willem rules Lyria now. And should you not acquiesce and approve the accord, I fear only you, milady, shall have the pleasure to meet the hangman.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Caldwell. My mother will not be harmed. Not one hair on her head. Understood? Confine the Queen to the tower.
You err deeply, my son.
Oh yeah, this is my shocked face, by the way.
The Queen was confined to a cell.
Lore shock.
Gilded armor she had traded for a simple robe. A courtly retinue for a swarm of rats. She was the very picture of misery. At the window of her cell, gripping the bars, Maeve stood powerless, her anger so great she wept and wailed. Her Lyria was free no more.
Well, we lost the Wadenberg. And the Pikmin and the War Wagon and the Arbalest and the Drummer and the Medic.
I come at a bad time.
Demons take you, Caldwell. You've long been at this scheme, haven't you? You left the strays of Sparla to roam the realm, to forage, so that I would have to look to them. And thus gained your cohorts the time they needed to complete Lyria's sail to Nilfgaard.
You've seen through it all, that's clear. After the fact, of course. But still, I'm not nearly the poor strategist you thought me.
Willem, you turned him. How?
The boy's not fit to wear the crown. Hasn't sufficient wit nor valor. I know this. You know this. Just, he knows it not. Willem fancied himself a statesman, which terribly to prove he was one. I made it possible. I've been amply rewarded, I have. Palatine since just yesterday, in fact.
You'll have neither my blessing nor congratulations. Sorry to disappoint you.
I seek neither. I've come for another reason. To bid you adieu. Willem does not seek your death. Does not even fathom it, as you well know. Moreover, his resolve will wilt in time, and he'll wish to free you. So, come the morn, when the young king rides out to pledge fealty afore General Ep Dahi, you shall use your bed linens to hang yourself.
I'm not going to say no, Tigzar, but I can't think of anything that's surprised me in a game lately. It doesn't bug me. I remember the first time a video game plot twist ever surprised me. I'm not going to say the twist, but it was actually StarCraft, the original StarCraft. Yeah, no, we'll be defiant and then die.
I see.
Base game venters.
You wish to see me bow afore you, lie prostrate, beg you for mercy, plough yourself with a pike, Caldwell.
Ow.
And you needn't send your thugs. I'll not falter nor hesitate. I'll take my own life.
Adieu, your grace. And use your last evening wisely.
Maeve felt a rush of despair, yet bit her lip to mute any weeping. No, she would not give Caldwell the satisfaction. Morning arrived with the sound of footsteps in the corridor. Neve rose from her cot and stood in the center of her cell. She was prepared for anything. Well, nearly anything.
The Duke of Dogs.
Titles seem senseless under the circumstances, don't you think? Let's forgo them. I'm Gascon.
Has Caldwell sent you? To kill me?
No and a no. Actually, you're free.
How shall I put this? That cad, Count Caldwell, used yours truly and the strays as bait in a scheme aimed at kicking your shapely backside off your throne.
Now, I'm hardly vindictive. First to forgive, in fact. Take your threat to send me to the gallows. Forgotten already. Yet being played for a fool, I cannot abide.
So when the strays freed me, I knew what I'd do to spite the Count afore I disappeared. I'd free you. That's to say, on one condition. You've got to request it of me, my lady. Courteously.
I'm kind of torn on that one. And yes, the egg, very much fair. Like, I'm the kind of person who is more than willing to swallow his pride in order to accomplish things. Like, when it comes to the end of the day, I'm pragmatic. But Meve is not. I don't even know her that much, but even from what I've seen so far, she is very not pragmatic here. It was spoiled for me before I played it, TKG, so no. So we have a choice. Now, I wish I could save. I'm just gonna keep saying that. As long as it keeps being true. Because I would love to go ahead and have her stick to her guns just to see what would happen. I mean, she's even going to commit suicide. Or at least she said she was. That's pride right there. Screw it.
Never. I'd rather die in this cell.
Steadfast as ever. Even with death hanging over you. Colour me impressed, I must admit. Call it my loss then. You are free.
I'm grateful. Now please let me pass. I must get to the city jail at once.
Would you look at this woman? Free her from one prison, she flies off to the next.
They hold Reynard there. And if I've any ally left, anyone who's not betrayed me, it's him. I must get him out.
Hold, my lady. Unarmed, alone.
Have I any other option?
In a sense. See, they locked a few strays in the city pits too. Got a common cause, I'd say. Care to join forces?
The Queen took Gascon up on his offer. Then she, Gascon, and the strays snuck through the city to its dungeon. Reynard had not wavered for a moment in his devotion to the Queen. Never the slouch, he had also not lost any time.
I've inquired among the other arrested soldiers. Many are prepared to fight, even die at your side, Your Grace.
Seems they may yet get their chance. But now we must flee. All of us.
Yet in leaving the jail, the company ran into trouble. When Caldwell's cutthroats had failed to find Meve in her cell waiting for her secret execution, they had informed the Count. He, in turn, dispatched patrols into the streets. The Queen and her cohorts ran into one such unit.
Blast. We shan't outrun them. To arms!
So time to see what our new deck looks like. Just a story battle with special rules. Shortened battle. Custom deck.
Gascon? Bloody hell, where'd he get to?
So,
we must make haste. Caldwell's roused the whole city by now.
So we have our Scytheman, Reynard, and that's it. Also, notice Reynard has been nerfed substantially in stats. Oh yeah, and Meve, who has lost everything but her longsword. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 through 9. Go. Pick a number. 1 through 9. 6. No.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Every rib's a thief.
So let's try. This one would have been 7. Nope.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die. Abel is to your command. Aye.
Didn't think I'd leave you just like that, did you?
What? So now we've got Stray's units.
I did.
Oh, that's some mean combos. Let's just try 9 this time. Nope. Oh, we're done.
Don't like this.
You mad? Don't shake that!
Let's try 1. Nope. God.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Your Grace, what guarantee do we have that they won't stab us in the back?
None.
Favorite cut of lamb?
Shank!
2. Hey! Oh. Oh my god. Okay. So when that timer ends, the mission ends, and whoever has the highest points wins.
Armor won't say.
Yeah, time to point slam. Exactly right.
Oh, Lady Marguerite told us of this.
As they just buff the hell out of everything. Oh my god! Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get another fire going.
This could hurt.
And we're also gonna do this. While we're here. Well, no, actually, I guess there's no benefit at this point to opening new ones. Yeah, I'm guessing we're going to be running the bandit side for a while, which I gotta say already is making me grin, I'll admit.
Cursed traitors.
Aw, the fire went away. Sadness.
The chase is on!
Okay. Gate closed. We're on the other side. Plus to gameplay. Plus to story. That's a negative. This is actually kind of a bunch of things combined here. So, okay, I'm going to say something that's going to sound really weird. I love that they're changing our deck. Now, from what I was told in chat, that's not really a permanent thing and we can buy our old units back, but I love the fact that they're expanding and effectively forcing us to adapt our decks rather than allowing us to just use the same deck the whole way through. And I'm going to try and explain why, and I'm going to fail at it, so hear me out. As I've already said, I prefer the manually crafted type of experience over... You know, here's 20 missions, go. There's nothing wrong with the here's 20 missions, go thing, but I will always prefer 20 individual missions that are separate from each other, if you follow. So, you know, I will prefer Wings of Liberty over StarCraft Vanilla, or StarCraft Brood War over StarCraft Vanilla, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So the fact, like, if I was to design a card game which had a story campaign, which actually I would love to do someday. This is kind of the exact sort of thing I do. Make it so that your actual deck changes as you move through the story, appropriate to what particular part of the story you're playing through.
I thank you, Gascon. You
Bingo, Nero's as.
'Tis now, my lady. Strays never say no to a proper brawl.
No brawl this was. Sun rising against Mother. Lyrian striking at Lyrian. I fear a blood war's begun.
Come now. Seems to me the war's ended. Your realm's lost to Nilfgaard. You've no army to speak of.
Then I shall assemble a new one. And with it have Caldwell hanged. And drive Nilfgaard back across the Yaruga.
You're mad. How will you find the men? Riding from hamlet to hamlet, speaking from atop a crate?
No. I shall find them in Edirn. I've a favour to call in with King Demavend, and I'll sway volunteers to my cause on the way.
Well, you've your first willing warriors already.
How so?
We've nothing left in Lyria. Our hideouts are compromised, Caldwell's sure to set a price on our heads, and Nilfgaardians roam the land in numbers. Besides, I'll be right tickled to see proud Queen Meve fighting elbow to elbow with a bandit she'd wish to hang just a half day afore.
Well, it is said my foe's foe is my friend, and I'd be a fool to turn down assistance now, no matter who offers. So be it.
So we got strays, and strays, and strays, and strays, and an alchemist.
High-minded of you, my lady. So, shall we shake on't? Nay? Well then, the high road beckons. Though first we must escape the city with our lives. Follow me.
Lyria was hers no more. Meve now had to flee her capital and realm as quickly as she could. Wont to travel the city streets in a gilded carriage, the Queen now saw them from a slightly different vantage point.
Ugh. Is this the only way? Are you quite certain? The Queen
is a common fugitive now, so she'd do better to pinch her nose and whinge not at all.
At long last, Meve reached the gate. Yet this she found shut tight, locked and guarded.
Gods be damned.
Easy, your grace. Nothing we can't solve with a quiver full of quarrels.
Those are our men.
They were, Reynard, were.
Gascon's raiders were poised to loose their boats, but were thwarted when the Queen stepped out in front of them.
What's she... Your Majesty? I've orders to arrest your grace.
Place me in irons, then.
Please understand, I haven't a choice.
Fear not. You'll be rewarded by Caldwell in Nilfgaardian Florens.
The captain's head dropped. His cheeks burned crimson.
Go, your grace. Flee now, but only to return.
Remember this, Gascon. I'm no fugitive. I'm a queen, robbed of her rightful crown. And though I may need to venture to the world's end before I return, I shall have it back.
But I thought we were going to break the throne.
Having fled Lyria, Queen Meve ventured into Edirn, her old friend Reynard and new ally Gascon at her side. The war had bitten into this land too. Still, Meve hoped to sway King Demavend to her cause, and with his aid, to oust the traitors, retake her throne, and drive the Nilfgaardian invader from her realm. Yet to start, she was forced to fight, Scoia'tael no less. Emerging from a wood, Meve's retinue encountered a unit of elven rebels just moments from hanging a handful of prisoners. Among the latter, the Queen spotted a woman, a proud warrior with a striking, thick black braid.
The lass I believe I know.
Well, unless we rush to her rescue, it'll soon be you knew her.
Well said. Lyrians, attack!
Oh my god, frickin' knife ears, I swear. I mean, does anybody like the Scoia'tael? Don't answer that. Yeah, we've had a lot of evil elves lately. I'm sensing a trend.
Hang the butcher! Below her!
Nay, Duanve came est.
She can't breathe, your grace. We must rush to her aid. We'll catch 'em all!
Depends on how it's used, TKG, as with most things. Sorry, I'm thinking. That's what I thought.
The chase is on!
Now we will see who is weak.
Free the warrior!
Thank you, Command and Conquer. Appreciate as always, sir. And you know the question. But do you have an answer?
If anyone asks, you've not seen me.
You got it, Commander Conqueror.
The Scoia'tael warriors shocked the Queen with their speed, their cunning, and their cruelty. Yet in the end, the Lyrians prevailed. When the last elf hit the ground, the Queen had her men untie those they'd sought to hang.
1,000 thanks, Your Grace. Heard many tales of your valor. Pleased to see they weren't just flattery and propaganda.
Black Rayla. Haga, we saw you there. You command King Demoven's special forces.
That's right. Though not many remain to command.
So I see. How did it come to this?
My liege sent me to wipe out a Scoia'tael band, led by a rat called Eldane. Followed the vermin's tracks for several days, straight into his trap, turned out.
Hunting elves in the woods. Truly inspired, I must say.
Had no choice. Doing nothing would have brought us surer, swifter doom. The Blackclad have invaded Edirn. Thanks to Elven aid. They snap our supply lines, lurk like dogs, prey on vulnerable units and scouts.
You mean to say Nilfgaard's broken your defenses?
Aye. Though their march will soon halt, believe me. To advance, they'll have to take Rosberg, a stronghold that's yet to fall once. They'll break against its walls like waves upon the rocks.
Hey, Huthor. Lateralis is awesome, and I need you to know that, Huthor. It's extremely important. Thank you. Very, very much, Lateralis. Much obliged, as always. Is Carwella still there? Or Ardith? Or Doomrider? While we're on the subject? So... some of you guys probably haven't seen this, but I tweeted out an image that Huthor made of me as her. Someone responded, "This will now forever be etched into my mind when you give the on-stream request to stab a particular viewer." I thought you might find that amusing. Listen, all these keeps are completely impenetrable. No one will ever sink the Titanic. Now, let's see here.
Rayla, the black swarm I have beheld. Endless lines of infantrymen. Countless riders. War machines capable of crushing the hardest stone to gravel.
Your meaning, my lady?
That we must prepare for the worst.
I'll convey your grace's words to the king at the first occasion.
I'd rather hope to convey them myself. I have come to Edirn seeking aid. I wish to ask Demoven for support.
The king is in Rosberg, overseeing siege preparations. I'm heading that way too to report on our skirmish with the Scoia'tael. I might serve as your guide. These lands I know better than any.
Excellent. Guide on.
And here we are. Map 2. That's pretty small, you know. It's just a massive death forest of hell, followed by a city, followed by a castle. It's cool, it's cool. Oh, jeez. Okay, so... yeah, an elven death forest. Even better. Grim picture. Exceptions are a clear road to human blood spilled. All Scoia'tael must die. Leave the gods to sort the wheat from the chaff. Interesting. Strengthen whenever a Scoia'tael is destroyed, regardless of where she is. Yeah, we're gonna use that. I'm not sure how we're going to use that. See, now I have too few cards. God, I don't mind the max thing. The min thing I mind. Like, balancing that out is actually kind of irritating. Anything cheaper than a 3? Like, I'm just going to fill my deck with junk cards to fill that up. Which puts me way over the count. Yeah, let's see what upgrades we can get. Units take less of the recruit cap. Increases recruit cap. Reduces cost of making units. Gain recruits every battle. Gain gold every battle. New stuff. New stuff. New stuff. Is there any move faster? Damn. Most comfortable role-playing? Go with Win or Alistair. Good night, Nerazos. I'm cutting off right after this, by the way. As far as least comfortable role-playing, probably Ogren. Ogren, excuse me. Done, Huthor! Here's the gold. You know I would do that without hesitation. I'm not joking. I do that in every game. There's an MMO called Asheron's Call. In that MMO, there's a an ability, a skill you can raise called Item Magic. Now, Item Magic's very useful. It can make your weapons hit harder, or increase your chance to hit, or increase the armor of your, stuff. All that's very useful. But that's not why I took Item Magic. I took Item Magic because it has access to portal spells. Because I have 7 separate Hearthstone type abilities on my warrior, Dream Whisperer. One of which allows me to go to the front door of the Black Temple, one of which allows me to go to the Argent Grounds, one of which allows me to go to Old Dalaran, one of which allows me to go to New Dalaran, one of which allows me to go to my garrison, which has an automatic and very quick portal access because I built the upgrade in order to get to Orgrimmar, which has the portal hub in it. I've got one hearth that takes me to the Vale, which also has an Orgrimmar portal in it. And I recently got another one, and I actually don't remember where that one goes, but yeah. No, that's how I can avoid playing a mage. Ironically, mage and, let's see, mage, Death Knight, Druid and Monk are the ones... Oh, and Shaman are the ones with, like, extra teleports. So I've kind of had to work my way around that. It's okay, I'm going to turn my Demon Hunter into my main next expansion. I've been talking about doing it for forever, and I'm just sick of what they keep doing to warriors, so... I'm going to finally commit to that. Oh, he's back to being Doomy. Get out of my army! Nobody loves you, except for me. Man, if you say so, Uthor. Like, I don't pay attention to the high-end meta anymore for obvious reasons. All I know is how it feels, and it's just kind of bleh. I love being at the bottom of every damage meter. And having very few live abilities. And I hate what they did with my global cooldowns. They put certain abilities on the global cooldown, which I very much disagree with. Which is my biggest complaint there. Like, the global cooldown change in general I didn't like, but the specific abilities they put for Warrior on the GCD... no thank you. I really hate this minimum card thing. Yeah, I was actually going to wonder... I hate to ask, but is Meve dead by Witcher 3's time? Like, that's not spoilers. That's history that's written. I don't remember her really coming up in Witcher 3 at all. Unknown. Well, that figures. Such a crap deck. I'd really like to get her in. There. That'll do it. I'd probably cheat up enough gold to do double movement speed, aka 100% TKG. If you mean by default, I'd just keep focusing on that. Like, all of my gold would go towards that. Your Majesty, though we spoke to each other not long ago, I have no doubt you do not recall my name. I am the guard who stopped you as you fled Lyria, the guard who doubted you. Your Highness, once more I apologize for my cowardice and thank you for giving me a chance to repair my error. I cannot save Lyria from Nilfgaardian's talons, but I can write to you about their secrets. I have won myself a post at the palace. I shall keep my ears open. If I learn anything, I shall inform you at once. Pamphlet that was distributed. Queen Meve cares not a whit for your interests. Instead of seeking peace with the Nilfgaardian Empire, she has chosen pointless resistance, sentencing you all to annihilation. To save their subjects from this fate, the Council of Peers decided to remove the Mad Queen from the throne. In her cruel lunacy, she defied our ruling, spat on our laws. She has fled the country in cowardice and seeks to sow havoc. The rightful monarch is Meve's eldest son, Willem. What keeps doing that? Willem. He shall be advised in this difficult time by the great, wonderful, amazing, superlative, who has no bad sense whatever and is definitely not overweight, Count Caldwell. The meadows of Lyria and Rivia shall blossom under the light of the golden sun of Count Caldwell. I mean, the Emperor. Long live the Emperor. With Lyria and Rivia taken, the full strength of Army Group East redirected against Aedirn. Fierce Aedirnian resistance, but border posts fell. King Dambleh. Why does he keep doing that? Pulling back from small garrisons and concentrating forces in heavily defended fortress, Roseburg, Augsburg, and Finnsburg. Vengerberg, excuse me. Significant increase in Scoia'tael activity, attacks on merchants, refugees, but not Nilfgaardian convoys. All evidence indicates Scoia'tael working with the enemy. That's a lot of dialogue that we'll listen to tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed Thronebreaker, because I have been. I'm going to chop off. We will be playing board games later tonight. We're going to be trying out a couple of new ones, so hopefully that'll be fun. Otherwise, I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. EST, as always, for the continuation.